innately we want to do that thing. We want to draw on our skin, or we want to write on a wall or whatever. Yes, I agree with you. It's like it's innate, it's there. Everyone has a drive to do it. The current I guess culture that we're in is one that's not very well fitted. People don't really know who they are. They only know who they are in the context of this like mixed up wash pool of a world or of a culture. Like you said yourself, it's like, you've got a Brazilian background, you're in Europe. It's like me. I've got a European background. My wife's Southern Indian, so our kids are a mix of stuff, and we're living in Australia. So we're in a very interesting time in terms of the different influences, the different placements of people, the kind of variety of cultural influences through screens. And so people are doing all sorts of weird things. And a lot of the time with their tattoos, it's like, for me, the way that I currently understand tattooing and how it links to our psychology and what matters about it, most people in the industry are like walking around with their shoes on the wrong feet and their t-shirts backwards. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah. So it's like there's a process of getting tattooed that's very easy to engage with very little understanding of what it is that you're doing. And it's very permanent. So there's a bit of an issue that the global contemporary tattoo culture is currently experiencing.
Damn, that's so deep and that's so interesting. I know that a lot of people, they go to like weddings or parties, and there's like a tattoo artist there, just to make like a random tattoo on the fly, like without thinking when you're drunk. Like I think that's the the best example that I could think about of what you're saying. Am I right? Is that the case?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the case, mate. Yep. People just getting tourist stickers. I don't know what it's like over in Europe. Here, it's the old people that travel around, called grey nomads. They collect like stickers and they put them on the back of their caravan, or they collect tea towels, or they collect badges and put them on a blanket or something. And it's like that's what people are becoming. It's just they're all just tourist stickers. you know. Um, but I think the way tattooing used to be used, it's more like the the markings were just another representation, like I said, of the culture.
Hmm.
So it's like those beautiful carved gates that you'd see in multiple cultures. It's just carving those same pieces of information into the person in a way that connects them to that story.
That's beautiful. Have you watched Fight Club?
Oh, a very long time ago.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is because I just remember a quote from the movie. I'm gonna read it real quick. I think it applies to a little bit to what we're
Yeah.
talking. Um, Screen share. So the quote goes, "Oh, advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need, and the things you own end up owning." Oh, I have an ad. One second, guys. There you go. Um, and the things you own end up owning you. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives. We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. Wow.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yep. Good quote.
so I think like it's a little bit like I think it applies a little bit to what you're saying. Like people are just traveling through life. They're like they don't know like their goals and where they're going, so they're just like collecting those stickers and not thinking too much.
Totally.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's totally true.
would you say that's a bad thing because there's no it's like a detrimental thing because there's no intention behind?
Yeah, I'd say there's just less awareness of what the intention is. It's a superficial intention opposed to a substantial intention. It's on the surface. It's not very deep. But some of the things in that quote that I think are important to look at, it's like, yes, that people are just sort of floating around with no end. You see that within tattooing. So it's a definite marker. So people might end up addicted, like you said, or they just participate in getting tattooed and they don't have an end in sight. They don't know where they're going with it. They don't know where the finish is. They don't know what they're trying to achieve, actually. And they just work it out as they go. And they end up with something that hasn't been really well thought out or executed, and it can actually look really disjointed, and it can feel very uncomfortable. That's one thing. The other thing in that quote, which was about people becoming movie gods or rock stars, or wanting to be millionaires, because of the programming of the television. Fight Club's pretty old. Hey, I don't know
Yeah, from the
exactly when it was
90s, I
made.
think. 99, I would say.
Right.
Let me
So we
check.
did 99. Yeah. So it's before we had podcasts and social media.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going back, and that quote's talking about the influence of like high production television on culture. Now we're dealing with low production, high consumption media. We're talking about TikTok, and so there's a different layer of that now, and so it's not as much like wanting to be a rock star or a movie star. It's wanting to be a social media influencer, and that's even worse because that's like a real small snapshot of someone, like a minuscule part of the spectrum of who they are. Movie characters are carved out and you see like a little bit more of the character, even though it's not real. They're trying to be a representation of a whole person a lot of the time. Whereas the influences we get now are like parts of people, and then people end up believing that's, who they should be. That's what they're competing and comparing with. And you end up with this like self-idolization and this self-inflation that can come through tattooing.
Wow. But I would say that some of those influencers are not even people. They're not trying to even people. Do you remember this? What was it like a trend? I think that it's still going on. Is like the robots trend, or I think NPC. There you go, the NPC trend, where people would just go in front of the camera and act like a robot, and they would just wait for donations. And what do you remember this?
Nah,
Ah, thanks
no,
God, man, because
I
it's
don't.
off. They would just stay in front of a camera, waiting for donations and like just jumping up and down like a robot, like an NPC. And as soon as they